What'd you do?
I just reloaded the page.
Oh, I can reload it early. Hi, everyone out there in internet land. This is Nana in her studio. Be careful over there, grandson. We're attempting to go live tonight for the first time. We tried earlier uh, in my sewing studio on YouTube. And I'm sure all you can see is most of my crazy basement. Let's see if I can get this so you see a little less of that and more of my sewing machine. Okay, this is going to be some trial and error. If anybody out there in this land knows how to do this with a laptop instead of a phone, let me know. Put some comments out there, some good tips and tricks. So, let me tell you what I'm working on. Lindsay Grace, look her up. She's got this cool pattern. I bought it from her at Lindsay Grace Creates. You've probably seen it all over TikTok, YouTube, wherever. Quilted bow to hang on your front door. Well, I'm wanting to make the jelly roll one. So, and I'm going to put the reverse side of it. I picked solid fabrics for. And mine's red, white, and blue theme. This will be my reverse side. The checkered will be my loops, and the flowers will be my tail, and it's all Riley Blake fabric. And I have one strip, I don't have them cut yet, of the Jelly Roll section sewed together of the Riley Blake red, white, and blue print. Let's roll on our 250th year celebration. So, and then I thought for my loop on my Jelly Roll, you're supposed to pick 3 fabrics for that. I picked these 3 right here. So, for the instructions of the pattern, I have picked my fabric. I have laid it out based on this page of the instructions right here. And you'll want to get this pattern. She has 2 patterns. One with the Jelly Roll and one to make a 5-inch or 6-inch square patch. I'll show you that one. I have that one as well. But I thought the Jelly Roll might be quicker. Now my daughter's made this one right here, and she put a solid background on it. Because you can make it, both sides are quilted in the patches or in the Jelly Roll. Or you can do one side is patchwork and one side is solid. But they're really cute. Okay, so let me get back to what I'm doing here. So I picked my fabrics, like it says on page 5 of the instructions. And I have sewn one set of the 5 together. That's page 6 of the instructions. I'm on page 6, okay? And then we'll go from there. I'm almost to this page 7 of the instructions where we're going to cut the jelly rolls after we get the strips like this. So I have one strip left to sew. We're going to do that. And then, of course, I've got to square up my ends. I just left the salvages on the jelly roll. I didn't trim that off ahead of time. Now, I know you're not supposed to do that, but don't be putting the straight pins in your mouth. Banana does. Okay, so here we go. I'm sewing on the last strip of this set of 5. And then I'll have to square everything up. And I am doing a 1/4-inch seam allowance too. A lovely hair day. And kids fuss at me because I'm always about my hair. Anyway, all right, here we go, guys. And I'll try to tilt this down more so you're seeing my sewing right there, okay? Hopefully that works. Anybody out there knows if you can do this with your cell phone? I don't have 50 subs yet. I'm being told you can only do it for free on your laptop and not your phone. If anybody has tips on that, please let me know. and my grandson know. Now I am tacking down my seam. And I'm using the Little Brother SE7205 model that you can get at the W Mart. So we're just trucking right along here on this last strip. The strips are about 42 inches long, 2.5 inches wide. So if you wanted to make your own jelly roll, you could. You could cut your own 2.5 inch strips. I believe my daughter used a little charm pack to make her that she had, where they were already cut into the little squares. No, charm pack is 2.5 inches. So baby cake, I think, is 5 inches square. Sorry. We're trucking right along here. I am using the walking foot because I had the walking foot on for my last project. I made one of those new bandana tote bags for a granddaughter's birthday. Turned out really cute. I'm going to do a video on that. Usually when I'm doing a new pattern like that, that's too much. But it turned out really cute. I could post some pictures of it. Please, anybody's got tips or tricks or anything for this? I don't quite know how to do that time lapse thing where we speed this up. It's like I said, I'm very new at this, creating any kind of content. We'll learn as we go. Okay, we made it to the end. I'm tacking down my thread. Pull that off, turn my thread right there. Okay, so there I go. I've got the two strips of 5 sewn together in the groups in my pattern. So before cutting your pieces, you want to trim each sewn group of strips to 42 inches in length. This ensures the final pieces will be uniform and match the layout diagrams. The first piece group of 5 you cut into 10.5 by 10.5 inch squares. You'll get 4 equal squares. Very good. And then the second one, we're going to cut 2 10.5 by 12.25 rectangles. Then cut 1 2 10.5 inch strips. Oh, I should go on and cut and sew together my group of 3. We should do that. Let's do that next. Think how I match those up to be the prettiest, because I've got a light, a medium, and a dark. I think I'll put the light in the middle. What do you think? I think I'll do dark, light, medium, like so. That's what I think I'll do. Or we could paint dark, medium, light. You quilters out there. I do like the two blues next to each other. Of course, I could do the dark in the middle and light, the medium and the light on the outside. Can you see that? I think I'll put the light one in the middle and the dark one on one side and the medium on one side. So, and this again, this is all Riley Blake fabric. Out with, and I believe I found all this past fall at the nice quilt show in Shepherdsville. It was really nice. If you can go, I believe it was in September. It's county extension office down there, and the Quilt Guild had a super nice quilt show and vendor fair. So I'm pinning my two strips together, as you can probably see here. Go from there. And I am going to have to, I'm not sure that each one of my strips is completely 42 inches, but we're supposed to square it up to that. So we'll see. I'll get as close as I can. I'm thinking about embroidering a monogram on it too, on the tail. Let's see how that would take some time. That would be because I noticed somebody's making ties for wreaths and they're monogramming them, which is a super cute idea. Okay, I'm gonna back stitch just a couple. Again, I'm doing a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I should have a grandson being my moderator, my admin person, somewhere else in the house. And so if you have any questions, you have any suggestions, you have any tips, we're all ears. Yes. I have to tell you folks, this is way out of my comfort zone. But trying something new. Just keep on the trucking. Thank you, Wookiees, for the little princess. I see a little purple crown. May waved high. I'm sure that's a grandson. Anybody needs a nice relaxing evening, just want to sit and watch me sew. Please push, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please do. I'm just a Nana who's sitting and sewing at the house. Oh, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there tomorrow. Okay. Now then, I'm going to take my pins out of this. And I'm going to add my dark to this. Like I said, this is our first going live sewing. Usually on Sunday afternoons, we're making videos together. And I've got that opened up. I think that's really pretty, those two fabrics together. And I'm partial to red trucks. I love my pickup trucks. That I do. And this has a little one right there. Be neat if I could fussy cut that so I get a good view of it in my bowl. Okay, now I'm going to sew the dark to the light. Here, you hear noise in the background. I have two beagles that have a place to sit here. Are both of you back there? No, just a Gracie. I have beagles that sit back here behind me. And got them a chair and a footstool. Again, for anybody that's scrolled by or just joined, I am making a quilted bow by Lindsay Grace Creates. Check out her site and designs. She does have a tutorial on how to make this on YouTube, but I bought her pattern from her, and I just thought I'd sit here and sew and make one. New thing where you have the big fluffy quilted bow to hang on your front door. Okay, here we go again. I'm going to do another 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then all of my jelly roll strips will be sewed together. I'll go back and tack. I always want to use my foot pedal when I'm doing that. And this machine, when you go in reverse to tack down your stitches, you're supposed to just hold that button. We're almost to the end. Almost to the end here. Okey-doke. There we go. So I went with the light fabric in the middle, my medium fabric on the side, and the dark on the other side. Okay, so next thing to do is to cut our pieces in the right length and width. And I believe I will press my fabric as well. I'm going to set my pages of my pattern over here. And let's see how we can do this. This is the back. I'm going to do a little bit of moving around here so that you can see. I'm going to put my ironing pad down here. Hopefully you can see that good. Move these out of the way. Grandkids need to fidget toys. Some of the other pages of the instructions that I was passed. Remember, this is what we're making right here. Okay, somebody joined late. We've got all our jelly roll strips sewed together now. I'm going to press those out. And now I don't like to open my seams. I think they're stronger if you push them the way they want to lay. I'm going to use my Mary Ellen's Best Press starch. If you can, probably got it too far away from the camera, or you can't see it. This light may be a little much. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to spray my strip really good with some starch. There are other strips. I got this nice little cordless iron here. Panasonic. I need to clean it. Let's see, which way you gonna go here? I think the last time I ironed, and I used some basting spray on that Mean One quilt we're working on. Now you should check out those videos. Those aren't live. Those are pre-recorded videos I've got on my YouTube channel where we're making a 2.5 inch pixel squared quilt of the Mean One. We've been working on that on Sunday afternoons. We have 2 panels. I think there's about 15 or 16 panels, 9 rows, 14 columns rather. Go in that. Get me some good iron cleaner for the bottom of my iron. Get that fold line out of my jelly roll there. Whoops. Yeah, I don't like to press open my seams. I just think it makes it stronger if they're pressed to one side. And probably some of you quilters out there are going to tell me, you shouldn't be ironing, you should be pressing. It stretches the fabric. Well, I'm still trying to figure that one out on my own. I'm trying. It's a terrible habit just to iron and not press. And what I'm ironing on here is actually a travel pressing mat. It's bigger than my wool mat. I do have a really nice wool mat for pressing on. Oops. Okay. So this strip I picked out will be with the loops. Top of my bow, because it is done in 2 sections and it is a reversible bow, and then you have a centerpiece. Attaches it all together with Velcro. Alright, let that heat back up. Get back on its charging base. Really pretty. Lay that one over there. Now these are just alike. I did these in the same order. Press this spray starch on it really well. And again, that's Mary Ellen's Best Press is what I'm using, and I've got it in this neat little spray bottle, makes it go longer. And I just buy the refills on the Best Press. Okay. So you'll check out this Panasonic cordless iron right here. I'm really enjoying this. Trying to iron in a small space. Again, I like to press my seams normally dark to light. So I might do it light to dark, but I don't like to press my seams open. It makes for a stronger quilt if you press your seams all in one direction. That's my preference. And I tell you what, there's no rules to this. If you like pressing your seams wide open, you go do that. It'd be just fine. Okay? There's no rules to this. There's no rules as to, most quilts, they want you to have a dark, light, and a medium shade fabric. But you put those in the order you want to put them in. Okay? There are no rules to this. I do have a hard time sometimes picking my colors. I get to where I like too many colors, and then it's going to be too busy. So I kind of like a theme. Doing a theme. And a theme. Here we go. We're going to put some more starch on this. Anybody got tips and tricks out there that sewers, quilters? Do you wash your fabric and put on, and somehow or another you put the starch in the wash? I'd really like to know about that. And I'll tell you why. Because I find when I'm cutting my pattern pieces out, I'm trying to keep my fabric from raveling. And I know when you're quilting, the more starch you use, the better that is. I've had several ladies tell me you need to starch your fabric really good. Of course, I'm probably cutting on the bias mostly too. Then I usually cut from salvage to salvage. Kind of folding this over a little bit. And yes, I do have stand-up ironing boards, but I tell you what, I like my wool mat and just using my big cutting table here and this ironing had the best. And trying to find room for a stand-up ironing board. Hello, Daisy girl. Come to join us. Beagles are some of the sweetest dogs. Honestly, I'm a dog lover. I love them all. They're also very crazy. They have the craziest personalities. Okay, I see we're going to be squaring this up good. Alright, I stepped away to set my iron on the charging thing. We've got one more set to press, and then we're going to start cutting our pieces and the links. Because we're apparently going to cut squares and sew them, one going this way, one going this way. I plan on making one out of the squares, but the theme I want to do it in, I'm going to have to cut all my own squares. I'll use up some of my scrap fabric. So again, I'm just pressing my seams from where I've sewed these strips, and I prefer to press my seams all in one direction as much as possible. I don't like opening them up. I think it's stronger, makes your seams stronger. That's my belief. Pressing all my seams, all the wrinkles, all my jelly rolls, and plus by pressing this, you'll get a better measurement when you go to cut. Sometimes your seams prefer to lay one way more so than the other. How's everybody doing out there in YouTube land on a Saturday night? This is what nanas do. Go to our craft room. Okay, so now that is done. I think that looks really good. Next step is I'm going to get out my rulers. We're going to get these ends, salvage ends cut off, and everything squared up. And we're going to check our directions for our measurements. Okay. Hi, Gracie. Gracie's my other beagle. Okay, so the directions here say on page 7, the first piece, group of 5 strips, right here, this right here. I'm going to square up the ends so we got a nice straight line to go by, but we're going to get 4 equal 10.5 inch squares out of this strip. So let's start with trimming off this ends here. I'm just going to do ruler out here. So we got some funkiness. There's the salvage ends, looks like. Okay. Okay. Got my ruler here on my cutting mat. And I'm just lining it up with the top of the salvage. off. I've got a nice straight edge. We're going to do this other end because see, I left the salvage on. And we're going to get this all squared up here, trimmed up. Pretty much. Yep, that's done. Okay. You're fine, baby girl. I've got a nice 10.5-inch ruler right here. Line this up over here. Square this up. So. My strips didn't turn out quite to be 10.5 inches wide. Once I press that open a little bit more. But we're going to get the 10.5 inch. Right through here. Right on the line. There. Yep. One. I'm supposed to get 4. And I do have measurements right here. I like to use that square. This one lined up straight. And see where I've stretched. I've stretched it some. Probably iron out here in a minute. I want to get these trimmed. And since it's for me, my front door, it'll be fine. It'll be just yeah, till I need to turn that way too. I got a huge cutting mat on my old table here. Back in the days when we had good old Joann's and we could get a coupon and get something for 50% off. Okay, so I got 4 squares out of that one. And then what does it say on the second one? We're going to cut 2 10.5 by 12.25. Okay. Lay these quarters aside. Dogs are barking, grandson's running around upstairs. Okay. So, 10.5 by 12.25. Ooh, I need to square this up first. I haven't trimmed off the salvage ends. So let's get that done. Okay. Do this other end as well. This one is really wonky. I'm gonna have to find my shortest one. Okay. Oh, there's quite a bit on this one. I believe. Okay. Now, 12.25. My ruler around it has the nice 1/4 inch. These are Creative Grid rulers. They're really nice. I'll tell you something I learned is that when you buy your rulers for quilting and cutting, you need to stick with the same brand, because I have an assortment of all different brands. They say not all rulers. Somebody said, which seems kind of odd to me, but anyway, take that grain of salt. I had watched one lady's video. She said not all the rulers are made the same, so therefore they don't measure the same. And maybe she's got a point, but I just know I love this ruler because it's got the grippies on the back, and it's got your seam allowances in it, which is really nice. Okay, so there's my 2 12.25, and then I'm supposed to cut 2 10.5 inch. Oh, wait a minute. Cut 1 2-inch by 10.5 inch strip from the remaining fabric and set any leftover fabric aside for another project or scrap. Oh, okay. So, ta-da. I need 2 inches. And this is a 2.5 inch ruler. And I bet you anything, this is for the middle. Doesn't say leave any kind of seam allowance, so there we go. Up right there. Okay. Got to sharpen my blade on the. Oops, rotary. Almost cut the finger. Okay, so this is my extra. Here's that something else. Okay. All right, now lay that over there and get rid of this. So the instructions say on our group of 3, cut 6.5 by 10.5. And this one I also need to square it up on the ends. Get rid of this salvage edge. So and then I'm going to do this end as well. Okay. Now, okay, so I'm going to cut out of this 4 equal triangles that are 10.5 inches in length. The width on this is fine. So, my ruler again, just like we did on that first strip of 5, we did 10.5 inches. So, this one, I'm going to turn around, my ruler around where I have the 1/2 inch seam allowance and line that right up on my cutting mat. So, there's one. We're going to get 4 of these, it says. Okay, there's our 4 of those. So, now on side B, the back side of the quilt, I chose to do a solid fabric. So I've already have that cut. Ooh. That laid over here. So this is the back side. What I've chose to make. And I should have a little 2-inch strip from the middle. Okay, I've dropped that somewhere. From the looks of things. From the looks of things, I might have to cut another one. Okay, this is for my loop with my bow, and this is for my tail of my bow. And I had it a few minutes ago, and I don't know what I did with it. And that's just like me. Maybe some of you out there have the same problem. Lost a smidgen of fabric. Okay. Page 8. Oh well. It's around here somewhere, I'll find it. Okay. Let's see what we're going to do now. Okay, so we've cut our pieces, so we're done with page 7 of the layout. Put that over there, out of the way. And we're going to move on to page 8. Okay, so visual reference, each piece corresponds to the number assigned to the cutting diagram. Lay out your numbered pieces right sides up as shown on the diagram and double check the direction of the print and adjust for color balance if needed. Okie doke. Let's see. Pieces 3 and 4. Okay. Let's see what we're doing here. All right, so this is a different paper. So right here, interesting. This is going to get interesting. Okay, so we take one strip of 5 and we're going to have it going this way. Well, no, this way. And then we're going to take one strip of the 3 and we're supposed to sew it at the bottom. So, I thought, okay, what have I got here? I don't have, yeah, I need to repress this. It's kind of stretchy. Okay, so I'm going to do that over here. A couple things up. Now you may not see me very well over here. I'm going to get to my pressing mat. And then I can bring it over. Let's do that. This is my wool mat that I was telling you about. Super nice. And we're going to work on getting this pressed out a little better. And this may be why some of y'all like to open up your steams, and I don't. Make sure I stretch this, but at the same time, I need some of this fabric. I lost a little bit of my measurements there. It looks good on this other side too. Okay, so I'm wanting to check something out here. So what should be happening is I should sew this way to here. I don't have a full. Make this one too long. One too short. Okay. Ta-da! I have to figure that one out. Okay, so I'm going to sew this. So you can see, I'm going to hold it up. Okay, so I have these stripes going this way, okay? And I have these going this way. And we're going to sew them this way. And then when I open it out, they're going to be going, one's going to be going up and down, one's going to be going across. Make sense? Okay. And it depends. this, showing these, the 4 that are 10.5 inch by 10.5 inch, and the 6.5 by 10.5 inch. There's 2. There's there's going to be 2 of the 6.5 by 10.5 added to 3 of the 10.5 by 10.5. This is the first. Okay. I'll turn you around here so you can see me back at my sewing machine and see just more of my sewing machine. Okay, I think I'm going to redo my pins. I don't like that. I like my pins all going one way. Makes it easier to pull them out. Rather. I think I'll do it this way. Okay, so, and I'm going to go back to my 1/4 inch seam allowance. Pins. I think I backstitched. How long have we been going live now? 8:30. An hour and well over an hour, guys. We've been live. Good already. Stop motion is my friend. Cool. Yeah, I've been live for an hour. That's amazing. Can y'all see my sewing machine okay? Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Trim my thread ends. Voila! Okay, so we're going to sew to this end of this where the light blue is. We're going to sew another square of stripes this way. So, good. I might have to press that out a little more. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put a little more press on this. Open up my seam just a little bit on this side, but I still have my seams all going in one direction. Does that make any sense? I'll show you on the back. There's some of my fabric I lost a little bit of size. And you don't want to, and I need the whole 10.5 inches that it's supposed to be. But see, I still have my seams pressed all going one way. But on the front, I needed to open it, fold it, get it to press over just a little more. Okay. So, I think we should keep all our flags and everything going the same way. So I'm going to stitch it this way. Line up my ends. Very good. I kind of like my design going the same in all the colors. I'm kind of talking to myself. Notice sometimes I call it not, well, it's not really talking to yourself. You're thinking out loud is what you're really doing. We are thinking out loud. Yep. Pins right there. Okay, we're going to stitch that. Turn you guys back around here where you can see. Stitching. All right. Now our next step is to sew another one like this on. That's so I've been working on, I hope you can see this. Been working on this section right here, the instructions. So we've done 1, 2, and 3. Well, we did 1, 7, and 2, rather. So I've got 1, 7, 2. This will be number 8, and then we'll put on number 3. I'm gonna lay that to the side a moment. This needs to be repressed somewhat, a little bit. Stand out a little more. Now then, we're going to take these 3 pieces and we're going to put this on, and I'm going to do it in the same order I did up here. So we're going to do it this way. Here. Not bad. If you happen to hear a lawnmower running, it's my husband. Sounds like he's going to be sewing over. I'm sewing. I'm in the yard over here by the basement window. Isn't he? Daisy girl. Hi, Gracie girl. Ow, ow, ow. Somebody see Gracie here in the camera? This is Miss Gracie. All right, I have Cookie. Quit scratching. There's my girls. You can see them right there in the background. I need to fix your stool in your bed again. Yeah. Make sure we got this going. Just so. Okay, so let's turn you back around here. We're back to sewing again. Down the thread. Stay on a 1/4 inch seam allowance. That down. Ooh, we sew on one more square and we'll have this side done. Yes, indeed. Oh, that's turning out pretty, guys. I think that's turned out real pretty. Make a pretty bow. Okay, so I need one more of these. And I want it going the same way as before. Oh, this way. It's going to go this way. Okay. Girls have a tendency when they call me and pen gets in the way. I'm just doing that so I don't get it on anything. Don't want to get that on my fabric. We're sewing on the last square for this side of the panel. And we may stop there. We've been alive for almost an hour and a half, guys. All right. Look at that. We have part of the bow is done. One panel strip. Next part is we'll do this side. And we'll lay out the pieces and follow the seam guide and sew them together with a 1/4 inch seam, just like we did the other. So I see you all later. I'll have that side done, but we're going to do basically the same thing that we just did tonight with the other squares, okay? And that's where we'll be. We'll see you later. Have a good evening. Y'all have a go to the church of your choice tomorrow and have a great evening and a happy Mother's Day.